Can everyone hear me back there? First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is January Bird, and I am a student with the Native American Studies program. Our course, Dispelling the Myths class, would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone who's attending. This is a historical event for the Winnebago tribe. And in this, in this evening's activities, what's taking place here is a monumental step forward for a tribal nation. For many years, our Indian people have struggled to organize themselves and administer themselves, and there's times where we've had, in general, sometimes that weren't so good for our people. And when I say our people, I mean our Indian people as a whole. For the Winnebago tribe to make changes and evolve is another form of progress. And so as Indian people, we must learn to not generalize everyone as what we're learning in the Dispelling Myths class. We're not all the same stereotypical Indian. We're not drunk thieves, and we're not savages. We know how to take care of ourselves. We've done that before the white man came. And as we can see tonight, the people who are attending and the organization of the tribe itself has proved that we as Indian people can take care of ourselves. And this, right now, this special candidate forum is another step toward a better future for Indian people. Tonight's events are being recorded, so it can be reviewed later on YouTube. We have a link that we can post on Facebook for anybody who wants to review it later. People that aren't able to attend tonight can watch it, look at it, and and as students, it's another part of educating ourselves. What we're learning here tonight is something very important for all Indian nations, is that it's time that when things need to change, individuals who are going to step forward and be representatives for our Indian nations, we as people have the chance to listen to them, talk to each other, visit. That way we all are on the same page and we know what we're doing. As we go along tonight and in this evening's events, the Native Studies program organized this and collaborated together so that way we could have a very, excuse me, hello, go ahead, take a seat. So we could have an opportunity for the tribal membership to speak with the candidates who are going to run in this special election. The purpose of tonight's event is for our candidates to introduce themselves and discuss topics and concerns with the tribal membership. In order for this evening's proceedings to run efficiently, we've established some ground rules which are simple and to the point. That way we can go along and make tonight's event 2 hours that we've allotted, make it beneficial for everyone. As it says in your program, we have a time frame, and in the first 15 minutes we're going to be having the candidates introduce themselves. With respect for time frame, we'd like that the candidates have 3 minutes each to introduce yourselves and any other words that you might want to express to the people in attendance. Please be respectful, both the candidates and the audience. In times like this, sometimes people become so passionate that their emotions come out. And we'd like for everyone to just, relax and try to have a good time. That way everyone is understood. There's no shouting, there's no arguing. we can, we can do this respectfully toward one another. And another rule that we have is please no foul language. And in that being said, please turn down your cell phones because it becomes distracting to the rest of the audience and our candidates as they speak. When we select individuals for questions, please stay on topic. Try not to ramble off into a different direction with your question. Questions and answers, please, are not to extend more than 2 minutes because we have only 2 hours, well, hour and 40 minutes now. So, I'd like to start this evening's candidate with Mr. Vince Bass. If you introduce yourself. You can use the mic or you can talk freely, either one.
Okay. I'll just... And I treat every tribal member equally. I figure my family, if they wanted me to get them a job, I tell them no, because the decisions we make at the table, they're good for all of our tribal members. And my family is part of those tribal members, so they're going to benefit out of that too. I'm not going to do anything individual for anyone if I get elected. And I see a lot of things that need to be done, lots of things. And I really feel, I already have like solutions in my mind that how we can address these issues. I hope we're able to be able to work with this council that's seated right now. It's unfortunate that things had to come to this, that one of our council members had to step down. Now that seat needs to be filled. So this is the process that we're going through. And I don't know, I don't want to go on and on, but I just feel like, I can really help our tribe in a lot of ways. I was going to say a few other things, but I'm just going to keep it short like that and just let you know that I am running for this seat. And I'll do the best job that I possibly can. And my goal is to give the government back to the people. I don't see that happening. Tribal council members are supposed to be servants of the people. When I got on the council, it was Reuben, Snake, and Neolo were the main ones that kind of taught me. They were my mentors. They taught me about being a humble servant. Especially Reuben with his book, Humble Servant, That came from that expression, humble servant. And he was a humble servant to our people. He set the example, and it's the way I believe. Money is nothing. I feel like our tribal council members, the salary is way, way too high, and other directors and managers as well. That needs to be rectified immediately. Not to mention all these other things that are happening that most of you may not even know that's going on. that will be, I'm on this investigation committee and I can't go into detail, but you will soon see the facts will all come out, and I think everybody's eyes will be open. And it's going to be unfortunate, but but the people need to see what's going on. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I was sworn to confidentiality, so I can't go into any details on that. So I want to thank the college for making this opportunity for everyone to have an opportunity to listen to the candidates and what they have to say. And I want to thank you all for attending. I wish it could have been more. It's a very important, historic day for our tribe. I was telling people this could be the most important meeting tomorrow at the Treasurer's Report. If you want to see the financial condition of our tribe, I suggest you be there. Treasurer's Report tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Thank you.
Next, we'll be hearing from Don Snake.
Hello, for those who don't know me, I'm Dawn Snake. I'm the third eldest daughter of Reuben and Kathy Snake. I've lived in the Winnebago for the last 30 years, raised a family, worked here in many different aspects as a cook. I'm on the housing at the HAVW. Right here at the college was the last place that I was employed. I've cooked at the Winnebago Public School for a lot of you kids that I look out here right now. You're grown up, got kids of your own. So a lot of you know me. I've always tried to do my very best in everything that I do. My big concern right now is the state of this tribe and what is going to be left for our children and grandchildren. And excuse me. I have a strong belief in God. And if this is what His will is, I'm willing to step up. I think I could do a good job. I will do my best job for this tribe, for each tribal member, every last one. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Next, we'll be hearing from Riva Decora.
I am Riva Ewing Decora. I am, my Indian name is Hudipiwinga, and I am of the Warrior clan, a member of the Warrior clan. I put my name in because of the situation that we're in. Like Vincent said, you know, it's history, and you know, our ancestors, our parents, grandparents, you know, probably turning over in their grave at what's going on, you know. Yeah. And like even our neighbor tribe said, gee, we never thought the Winnebagos would do this, you know. They said, you know, they could believe their tribe, but not, you know, not the Winnebagos. But I've worked in many positions, and I was over at Winnebagus, and I realized that we have to have these council members pay for what they did, and it's a cry of shame, you know, for them to do that to our children and our grandchildren, our future, what our ancestors prayed for, and what we have to pray for all the time, our children, great, on and on and on, because they're going to have to live here and live with this. But I would like to see the council go back to meetings in the evenings. I would like to see them just have a stipend. You know, all that money could be used for like paying gas bills, light bills, you know, percentage of our people. It's hard, you know, living paycheck to paycheck. We've all did it for years, but you know, it would help with assistance. You know, other tribes are getting their big monies, but you know, I'm sure they won't find no gold or oil on our land, you know. But I just know that I just feel that we need some women in there who can multitask. We all do it. There's a real high percentage of women households that are single parents, single mothers, that have raised their kids. The school has that percentage, but I forgot, it's really high that, their kids, they come from, just a single parent, a mother that are raising them, or a grandmother, And I know that they're strong, but we haven't, like, there was maybe like Neola, Nikki, just a few women in there. Regina, it just kind of goes on, Mona, Monte, and some her here, but, yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
And finally, we will hear from Wallace Earth.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say good evening to each and every one of you. My name is Aramihega Wallace Earth. I am a member of the Water Spirit clan. Man, where do I start? Being away from this reservation, learning some stuff, is and what I bring, and everything that I do. I'm a certified fitness person for the Winnebago tribe, and I helped a lot of people so far. Work for the CHR, save some lives. I'm just tired of seeing what I see. I don't know. I didn't see nothing that the council did or took. I can't speak on behalf of that. But what I do want to see is I want to see this change that's supposed to come. I want to see more money given back to us tribal members from Lance Morgan. All he hears is Lance Morgan making millions and millions of dollars, but what has he given back to us tribal members? And if that's true about the council getting what they got for the bonus from the casino, and we as tribal members only got, what, 250, 500? I feel that's wrong. Because it's the tribal members that put these people in their chairs to sit on the council. And it should be the tribal the tribal members that are going to vote to say, hey, we want to give the tribal council a bonus because we feel they deserve it. And off of the salary that they make, man, that's a good salary. All these jobs that I work, I don't think I ever made that kind of money. But it ain't about the money. It's about what's going to happen for us as a people, as one, and not just individuals. I hear that people making big money for their jobs that they're doing, and what are we getting? I went down to the council and asked for some help. I brought proof down there, put it on the table. I didn't get my job back. They didn't help me. So that's one of the reasons why I want to run, is to give that hope to people, to our tribal members. Let's get tribal members back in managerial positions that are going to help us tribal members, and then I see other managers that they're hiring that ain't even Winnebago, that try to terminate Winnebagos. And I'm like, wow, I thought this was my home. I thought, this was for us to grow. And, I thought I went away to make a better for us, but I don't see it, And the only way, like I was told, I sat around, got the opportunity to sit with some of these leaders that, people talk about. John D., Reuben Snake, Neola Walker. I lived in a little trailer out by the Powell Grounds. My grandmother's Angel May Decorah Earth. She was a member of the AIM. And she fought for those rights for a lot of people. And I got the opportunity to travel around and go around with her as a little kid. And when I went away, I went to college. I didn't have the tribe paying for that college. I paid for that out of my own pocket. I didn't ask for help from the tribe. And what I went to college for was to be a lawyer. And I'm 12 credits short of having my associates for administration of justice. And, that's what my grandmother instilled in me. Hey, if you go do that, then you can help our people. So that's what I have in mind, even with being getting on the council. I want to be that voice for all of us. I want to stick up for all of us. It ain't just for me. It's for all the people. That's what I want. I want the people to be behind me, right with me. And then these minutes that you see in there, the council minutes, make those readable for the tribal members. What did you make that motion on, so we all know? And then whatever said, you know, at least the tribal members can see what we asked for, what we wanted, you know, back in what you, the people, would give us to do for us. And I'm very grateful, and I'm very blessed. I thank my wife, you know, for being there for me, you know, and supporting me and encouraging me, you know. And there's other tribal, you know, people that ain't here that, you know, I want to say, you know, Res Cars. If you haven't purchased anything from Res Cars, go out there. You know, John Barrage Jr., he's an awesome person, and I really enjoy that. That's one good thing that I like that the tribe has, well, besides the DG. But anyways, and there's all kinds of other ideas that I would like to see happen, and there's a lot of stuff I want to put on a table for us, you know. And I went to the Hard Rock, and I was still thinking, man, that Hard Rock can't beat one of Vegas. You know, we just gotta put a little more work into one of Vegas and get some good things from that. And like some people were saying, I want to see us tribal members get more of per cap. Let's give back to the tribal members first and foremost. You know, they're the ones that are gonna put us in the seat. And I ain't scared. I ain't scared of nobody. Anybody could say something that they know people or they're gangsters or whatever it may be. I ain't scared. That's why I'm here, you know. So I want to speak for whoever's scared or unable to speak, you know. And I'm excited. I got a lot of things that I bring to the table, and I'm ready to do this. And I'm still young, and I want to see us grow as one. Oh yeah, and all these expensive homes too. Who can afford some of these homes? Who can afford some of these homes? We need to get that down for us to buy some of these houses, not when we're old and then what? But anyways, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me, and I'm looking for your votes. Thank you.
At this time, the Dispelling Myths class have a few questions for each of the candidates, and one at a time we'd like the candidates to respond. The questions are no longer than 2 minutes, and the candidates have 2 minutes to respond. After we finish with the question and answers from the students, then we will open the floor for the audience, and one at a time, individuals with questions can either direct toward all of the candidates or one at a time. The first question, excuse me, from the students, excuse me. Why do you feel you are the best candidate for the Winnebago Tribal Council, and what can the members expect from you? Mr. Bass.
Well, I think the main reason I think I'm the best candidate, not that I'm saying I'm any better than anybody else, but I do bring a lot of experience to the table, not only as a council member, but I was first chairman of the Gaming Commission. We started that commission, and the casino and the compact negotiations with the state, interviewing the management contractors, developing our tribal code, getting our SOPs and mix from other tribes, visiting other tribes. Anyway, I feel like I'm fully experienced with gaming, and learning from my mentors, like I mentioned before, and my 9 years experience on the tribal council. I worked on the Nebraska Indian Commission, representative from our tribe to the governor's office for 4 years. I was on the National Indian Gaming Association executive board for 3 years. I was on the school board for 3 years. And so I think my experience speaks for itself, my accomplishments as a council member and my own personal life. And my main thing that I want to give back to the people is give the tribal government back to the people. It's not in their hands right now. And I've been to almost every council meeting the last 3 months. And we have asked our tribal council to do this and do that, and they do just exactly the opposite. I keep reminding them, you are our servants. You are representatives of us. We are the boss. The people are the boss. And they forgot that. I want to bring that back to the table. They violated every policy that they have, and some things they don't have policies for. We can fix that. We can fix it and put teeth into those policies where if you don't follow them, there will be discipline. That's not happening right now. So that's what I want to do. I want to give the government back to the people and let the people decide. Maybe somewhere down the line we can change our constitution and maybe have general council meetings a couple times a year like the Ho-Chunks up that way. And then when that general council meeting, the members have the authority. They can overrule anything the tribal council did. That's giving the government back to the people. Cut them salaries down and just try to fix all the wrong things that are out there. So basically that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Next is Don Snake.
I believe I am the best candidate for this position because I'll give all the very best efforts that I have on behalf of all of our tribal members. If I'm elected, and I'll hold myself accountable to uphold the sacred oath of office concerning the tribal constitution, its policies, bylaws, and I will hold all fellow tribal council members to the same high standard. You can expect transparency from me. I will not attempt to hide anything that would concern our tribal members' welfare.
Riva Decora.
Well, yeah, I am running for this office because of all that has been going on with our people. I cried when I first heard that, and I don't cry too much, and I just thought of all of our people that suffered when we came down to Nebraska and was sent to South Dakota, and some of those horrid stories that they put them through, our ancestors. And then I just think about our language. You know, if we lose our language, we're not going to be a people anymore. We'll just be like regular white people or blacks or whatever, you know, that don't have a language. And we really need to get our immersion in there, and just like our neighbors, the Omahas, that's how their language is surviving. We don't have many speakers, but I just wanted to say that I'm strong. I've been through it all. I can stay in there and I can hang in there and take just about anything anybody says, and I would help people like I help now. I still get calls from all over, from women from when I was working in domestic violence, how they want to come home but they can't, and blah, 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 blah. I don't know, all of the jobs that I feel that our people need these jobs. Our people need these homes. Just like he said, or somebody said that, you know, these big expensive homes, and we need little homes. I don't even know who all knew about these FEMA trailers, but you know, I don't think a council member should have got a FEMA trailer. It should have went to a low-income family, you know. But all of these things all need to be addressed. Everything. It's just put it all out there and then have them take their salaries, I say. But we'll, you know, get to that when we get there. So, thank you.
Good.
And finally, Mr. Earth.
I'm just the best person for this, you know, for this something new, something fresh, you know. I think I bring it, you know, in every aspect. I'll bring this, you know, and Because when it's about a job, when it's about anything, you know, I'm gonna get that job done, and everybody's gonna see that, because you're just gonna know that. All this talk, how many times have we heard council members talk about what they're gonna do, what they're gonna bring, and then when they get in there, don't see them. Nothing happens. Still the same thing. And I believe that there should be new council members appointed after so many years to bring something to the table, as those old leaders once said. Hey, don't bring what we brought to the table. Bring something new to the table that can benefit our people as one, you know? And that's what I want to bring, you know, that's what I bring. And I'm excited, you know, even though this is just gonna be, what, a year? Not even a year, you know, that job's just gonna get started for everything to be brought out, you know. And I know some people are in a big rush to make this happen overnight. That probably ain't gonna happen that way, but, you know, with the time and effort that I'll put into this, and what you'll see that I'm gonna get out of this, you're gonna know that you picked the right person for this. And I thank the people that spoke before me. I don't have nothing against anybody on council now or before. Alls I know is it's all about that time for something good to happen for us as people, and that's what I want to bring. I don't want to sit there and give something to only certain ones, you know. I want to bring us all there. All of us are going to be at that table. All of us are going to have that opportunity. So with that, thank you for your kind attention.
We have another question from our Native Students Programs class.
For question number 2, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel your presence on the council will help fix the corruption and overcompensation of council members? And how will you as a council member work to prevent this from happening again?
Mr. Bass.
Well, I feel if you know what the problem is, you can fix it. Some people perceive there's no problems. I'm referring to our tribal council. But there are problems. And if you know what they are, you can fix it. The hard part will be getting the votes from them to try to fix this. Because they all seem to be in this together, watching each other's backs. We've tried to get them to make motions, to do the right thing, and they've done just the opposite. So it's like you get 2 good people on a council and you're still going to be outnumbered. So there's still a long way to go. It's an uphill battle. So 2 people aren't going to be able to do it alone. It's going to take the rest of the council. Somehow the council needs to all work together as one unit. And if they're willing, because they have the majority, then things can happen. Until then, we might have to wait until this fall till we can get them off and get 3 new members on the council. Then you'll have a majority. I think the overcompensation thing can be handled at a special meeting where we all get together and we decide how can we accomplish this. Because right now, the only one that can give them a raise or lower their is them. They decide their own pay. Now that's not right. You give somebody that right, and they're going to give themselves a huge compensation. And it's happening. They're doing it for others as well. So I think we need a committee who would be able to evaluate and set the appropriate salary wage for every council member and some of these directors. The other question was, how will you work, as a council member, work to prevent this from happening again? Well, I think it needs to be, the code of ethics is there, but you got to follow them. You have to abide by them. All these other policies are there, but you have to abide by them. And if you don't abide by them, you set a precedent for all the rest of the tribal organization to not follow policies. The council doesn't know, why should I do it? But one of the things, like with the casino, With HCI, you have it's like a firewall. The tribal council can't get in there and micromanage or hire or fire or make any business decisions because they don't have an education, for one thing. So I think the casino, all three of our casinos need a separation of business and politics, and let them casinos run like a business, like HCI. I know a lot of people don't care for HCI, but it's to me, it's the most credible thing we have here on the reservation right now. And they're trying. They're giving $2.1 million here in a few days to the council. What the council does with it is their decision. It ain't HCI's decision. HCI can't give out stimulus payments and per capitas and social services. That's what the tribe is for. Put that money back into social services, back into the credit program. That's what they're there for. So to me, I think we need a separation of business and politics with that casino. If that was there, none of this would have ever happened. So, and I have a lot of other ideas too.
Thank you.
You got a good plan.
Now we hear from Don Snake.
I'm like Reva, I pushed that the tribal council return to the stipend payments. I remember all the years that my dad was on tribal council. He was on tribal council for 17 years, 12 of those he was tribal chairman. And we never lived in a brand new house. We never had several cars. Every time they had to go out of town, they would have to go borrow somebody's car, borrow gas money to go somewhere. So we've got to think about those kind of things. There's no reason why this tribal council should be making this kind of money. And I was thinking the same thing that Vince was thinking, is I would lobby for a special oversight committee be appointed from the tribal membership that would monitor the tribal council members, their attendance at meetings, their productivity. What are they bringing to the table? Are they just sitting there getting that check? And have an annual evaluation, for, just those things. And then if they were deserving of some kind of an award, then that committee would be the ones to decide what it would be. Would it be a cash award? Maybe a little vacation, maybe a gift card somewhere, There's no need. All we need is a roof over our head, clothes on our backs, and food on our table. We need that for everyone. We don't need to have all of these houses boarded up. We don't need to have people living in somebody's basement because there's no place for them to live. So that's what I'm thinking. Thank you.
Ms. Decora.
Well, on how to address this issue that's going on with the council now, I'm sure there are attorneys and investigators. I really don't know. I haven't really been on Facebook that much, but I know it's going to all, come out, and I pray that it's going to be good for the people.
Yeah.
It's the people and the children right now, that need help. We have so many children that are going through wellness court. I'm a judge with the wellness court. We have hearings, we're getting kids up there all the time. We got a second grant that it was first-time offenders, now we got a grant for second-time offenders. They get to come back the second time and go through the diversion program. And we got approved for a group home, and we're going to get a new halfway house in the alcohol board, we hope. And I would like to just, some of the on smaller scale, like a skate park for the kids, a roller rink, someplace that they can hang out. And then I know that we need a curfew for all teenagers or young adults. I don't know if they addressed that in the police board meeting the other day, but I feel that we need that also. And anyway, and I just wanted to, anyway, I just wanted to say that I wanted to thank each and every one of you for being here. And you're caring people, each and every one of you. I know all your families and your grandmas and grandpas, and I just, I just want everybody to, vote for the person that you think is best, that will do for the people instead of, getting in there for money. I said, I would just still hang with my little $13 an hour and just to go down there and just to have a meeting and then, go back to my regular job. Whatever, however, But I know you have to sit in there and like them guys on their thrones, but to just get up there and talk and to be like, say like Vince and do what they have to do with the casino and the casinos. And so I just want what's best for our people. That's all.
And finally, we'll hear from Mr. Earth.
That corruption, is, what was the question? Corruption? I didn't get no.
The question is, how do you feel your presence on the council will help fix the corruption and overcompensation of council members?
Thank you. I feel like before, the tribal council members would only go to their job. That would be their job and come for the meetings. So there was no money involved. They would just attend the meetings. And I'm with that. And then now it's like tribal council now are holding their jobs when they run for council. So after they get done with council, they got a job again. But that ain't the way it was a long time ago. That corruption, have special forums, and the people should get more involved, and they should have the say over all this. Let's bring it, bring it to the people first. If that ain't working, then start, getting groups. But it's we as the people that should be fixing that and have that voice, because we're the ones that put them there. And there's more to HCI than what's being said. I got the ATF report off of the ATF webpage, and the thousands of dollars that was put to that could have been put towards our people. And the money that the tribe put in for that as well was, that's a big sum. I don't think that 1.2, is that just paying back the tribe for what they did to take care of that ATF incident? But there's thousands of dollars. If anybody has a computer, get on that computer and look at that. It'll send you a 100-page thing of everything from the wiretaps to everything. And that's where I would want to start first. Because that's a lot of our money that's up there on that hill. I think we have to take that back first and foremost before we worry about the corruption of the council. We gotta get that back. We gotta take that back. So just thinking about that, is like, wow. When I read that, and that's another reason why I want to get this vote to bring that back. I think they even have someone that's watching the tribal council's budget or finances. They should do that up at HCI as well. But this corruption thing is, if anybody hasn't read up on this or doesn't know, it's there. And that's what I want to fix first and foremost and give back to our people. They took from our grandkids, your grandkids, my grandkids. So let's get this taken care of. So thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Mr. Earth. We have another question from our studies program, and we would like to address each and every candidate separately.
In what way will you support more cultural events at Little Priest Tribal College?
Mr. Bass? We'll hear from Mr. Bass first.
Well, I think Reva alluded to it earlier by saying, if we don't know our language, we don't know our music, our traditions, our history, then we're not Ho-Chunk, And I can't stand here and say that I was taught all that. I wasn't brought up that way. I don't know all of the traditions. I don't know all of the language. I know a few words. So I can say that, I wasn't brought up that way. I'm sorry, But today I see good things happening with the Renaissance program, and I see our language and culture being cultivated from the little guys all the way up to the college, and I love it. And I think the more that we can do to support that, Renaissance needs more money, our college needs more money. I'll do anything I can to support higher education and our culture and language, history especially. Look at what they're teaching in the history books in school. They don't even mention the Indians are the bad guys, that really needs to change. The whole image of Indian people, and someone alluded to that earlier, dispelling the myths, That's exactly what it's all about. There's a lot of myths out there, and there's a lot of non-Indian people that believe that. All they know about the Indian people is what you see on John Wayne movies and stuff like that, And it's real disturbing to a lot of us. So I think the more that we know about our own culture and language and history and music and traditions, we can share that. We can educate the non-Indian people about who we are, why we are, how we got here, how we were treated ever since 1492, and it still continues to this day, big time. But they disguise it in political motions and bills and stuff that they pass. They hide them as writers in these bills that they're passing and stuff like that. So it's still there. They want to tax the heck out of us. They want to tax us on our tobacco sales, on our fuel sales, on our hotel. They want to tax us on our hotels. Any kind of taxes that we have, the state wants it, and we're constantly battling the state. All tribes are in every state. It doesn't end, So the culture of our tribe, our traditions, and all of that needs to continue big time. And I recognize that as a very important thing, along with that's part of education. But those two things are some of the most important things that we need to do for our children. Maybe we don't know all the language and stuff, but maybe one day our children will. I've got grandchildren coming home teaching me new Ho-Chunk words all the time, and I love it. I love it. It couldn't be anything better than that, So I feel really strongly about that. And you can bet that I'll put whatever resources that we can. If I get elected, you can count my word on that right now, that I'll do whatever I can to help this college out, not just with cultural things, but other things as well, too. They need money. I remember when HCI gave their first payment to the tribe, it was only $62,000 back in, 2000. And the college came to us, they said, we don't have an endowment fund. The Kellogg Foundation is willing to match whatever money we can get from you. So I made a motion to put that $62,000 into the endowment fund for the college, and Kellogg Fund matched it. So now they have an endowment fund. So, that's what kind of dedication. I said, my deeds hopefully speak louder than my words. Not many people even know that, But we raised a higher level of higher education grants from $1,800 to $3,000 based on your grade. Tribe took that away eventually. But I see it's back up there to about 3,100, so I was kind of encouraged by that. But yeah, the council needs to be aware of these things. They're not aware of these things. They're not aware that people live in poverty around here on the reservation because they're too busy living it up themselves. So, I'll say about that much, but you can count on me.
Next, we'll hear from Don Snake.
I believe that we need to remember where we come from, that, everything that we have here in Winnebago on this reservation is because of the prayers of our elders, the hard work that they did. But we also live in a very competitive world. And I've lived and I've worked outside of this community. And I have yet to hear anybody ask me in a job interview or a landlord how well I know my cultural heritage. I was raised until I was 10 years old by non-natives, and I came home and I didn't know anything, didn't know my relatives, didn't know anything, but I followed my dad around. I went to Native American church meetings, and I listened to him and the elders. And I'm like Wally, I remember when Wally was a little bitty guy with little stink lobes running around here. And I know his grandma, Angel Maine. And yeah, we got the opportunity to hear John D. and Chuck Earth and Tom Earth and Lois Hensley and all these elders and the teachings, you know, that they talked in those meetings about, you know, we learned something. And then we're always having powwows for every celebration, you know. That's where we need to start attending and putting ourselves, you know, over there and trying to learn something. I think that our valuable grant monies that are here for our students, they enrolled into this college, and they need those monies to be put into classes that are going to transfer those credits to a 4-year college, or, you know, something like that. That's how I feel about it. I don't mean to offend anybody, but there's still a lot of culture out there. We still have elders. We still have people that can tell us good stories and teach us something. We just got to go over there and learn and want it for ourselves. Thank you.
Our next candidate is Riva DeCora.
Okay, like Vincent said, you know, he's learning from his grandchildren, and I'm glad. We only have a half-hour class with each of them, you know, in school. I wish we had more time. We finally got a room at the school, so it was, instead of lugging everything to each classroom. But there's a lot of things that I wanted to do, and, you know, like for this Constitution Day, on our little bulletin board, I wanted, because I put the kids, everything kind of native, I wanted to get some things like our, what do you call it, heroes, native heroes, or, you know, like John Rice, or, you know, that marathon, what's that, Ira Hayes. I wanted to put some of those things up, but then I was going to go on Facebook and ask each, you know, family to do their heroes, you know, for these kids to bring, you know, something from their home. But maybe, you know, the college could do that for next year, you know, you guys, the braids and buckskin thing. Maybe you guys could do that, you know, get from every family, because I'm sure every family has, you know, their heroes, their mentors, their whatever, whoever went to war, whoever was this and that, you know, Marine, or even a good powwow dancer. But yeah, I really support culture, and I really know that we need more mentors. I tried to mentor a few people, a few girls, but, you know, they didn't really pan out. They just kind of moved away from here. But we sure could, you know, use the culture in all aspects all over the reservation. Values, morals, the council needs. No, just kidding. Okay.
Thank you. And last, Mr. Earth.
Thank you. Yeah, I would like to see culture come to the college more. You know, let's get some beading classes and shirt making classes. Besides that powwow, you know, even in moccasins, you know, that's kind of became my thing of choice right now is moccasins. And I would like to see the college work with our Ho Chunk Renaissance. You know, I'm very thankful. I still got a choka, you know, his name's Warner Earth. And I was very blessed, and I'm still very blessed, just like what Don said. We've been around, you know, and just getting them out now, kind of late, but I would like that. And maybe see some more dancing as well through the college culture. And yeah, let's bring that out, keep that going, and all I had for culture. Thank you.
At this time, we have time set aside for questions from the public. We have a mic runner. Anyone who would like to ask a specific candidate or direct their question to all candidates, please raise your hand. With each question, we try to minimize, because of the time frame, 2 minutes each from each candidate.
You know, the tribal council is following the American example of corruption. You know, they've become self-serving instead of being of service to the people. Can you guys stand up against the lure of the money that they're going to wave in front of your face to make you go along with their policies? Do you have that strength? And Vincent, I want to ask you about, like, some of these tribal council members have made a career out of the tribal council. One's been on there 27 years. And what do you think about term limits and probably pay based on merit? Because there's nothing visible that this council has brought to the people. What do we see downtown area? Still the same for the last 10, 15 years. There's nothing new down there. I mean, they're managing the money, but they're managing it in a self-serving way. So I lost respect for them, and one's my relative too, and I no longer trust him because of that.
Excuse me, Mr. Eagle, what is your base question toward the candidates?
I said, what does Vincent think about term limits on the council? And my first question was, gee, I forgot now.
Mr. Bass, can you please respond to his term limits question?
Let's go with that term limit one.
Term limits.
You asked about waving the money in front of us, and to me, it's not an issue. Money is not an issue. It's one of the reasons I'm running, is because of the salary situation and the overspending that I see. So that's not even an issue to me. I'd be satisfied with keeping it as it is. No, I'm just kidding. Like I say, let's get a committee and let them decide, and they can compare whatever the jobs are to outside the res, and maybe make it comparable. And maybe even consider not paying the tribal council. Maybe consider just paying the officers and let the rest of the council get a stipend. We need to meet on the regular council meetings, should meet in the evenings, maybe a Saturday or something, I don't know. But more people need to attend and get that input. And then your second question was, what do I think about term limits? I do a lot of reading on other tribes and stuff like that. I stay up on other tribes, what they do throughout the United States. And there's been some really good tribal leaders in the past. Reuben Snake, 17 years on the tribal council. There's people who abuse it. So I really feel that if you've got a good leader and everything is going honest and your tribe is doing well, then why have term limits for an individual like that? But if you got bad council members, then the idea of term limits becomes very attractive. But once you have term limits, that means if you have a real good council member, then he's gone after so many years. Is that what we want? It's a kind of a difficult question.
Based on merit and accomplishment.
Well, right now, they're in there because they set up the system so that they will continually get votes. When you give money away to everybody, they're going to vote you back in there.
Thank you, Mr. Eagle. Thank you, Mr. Bass. Does anyone else have a question that would like to address the candidates specifically or altogether?
Ms. Solomon would like to speak.
I was going to ask all four of the candidates that are here tonight a question. And that is, how much do you know about our current history that this tribe has accomplished and made? How much do you know? For instance, I'll give you one. In 1970, the early 70s, there was a battle here with the Corps of Engineers over Flowers Island. Now that's history, but you don't hear any of it. You don't read it. You don't hear about it. We've forgotten it. And if it weren't for the leadership at that time, Sterling Snake was one. Reuben was another. There were some women involved in that too. And if it hadn't, we were battling the Corps of Engineers. They were going to take over the land, make it into a recreation area, turn it over to the state of Iowa. And that today, if it weren't for that battle that took place, we wouldn't have the casino. It's that kind of history that I want to hear some of you talk about. There's much more. And we really should have a historian here at this college to go back and start gathering data and writing our current history. But how much from 1970 can any of you name some of the accomplishments that the former leaders of this tribe made that we're benefiting from today, right this moment?
Mr. Bass, would you like to start out first, answering her question?
You want to know the history of the tribe or what?
One incident from now you can't name the Corps of Engineer battle, but there have been many battles here that benefited the whole Indian country.
I think what Mrs. Solomon is trying to ask the candidates is if any of you remember or understand the history from 1970 on, if you can name something during that time frame historically for the tribe.
I know that for many, many, many years, our tribal council worked to get the hospital down here. And Nikki, you were involved with that. And so were quite a few others. I was actually tribal chairman when I went down. We went to DC several times in that, trying to get that hospital. I know Neola was working hard, Ruben, the council before that. I can't name who was all on the councils, but I know it was a long, long battle. And that hospital is in our treaty. And IHS did not want to give that hospital back. They wanted to give us a clinic. And the tribe fought it and fought it and fought it. We had to get support from all the hospitals in the area. We had to get legislative support from our senators. We had to get support from the various hospitals around the area. And with all that ammunition stuff, we took it and over and over and over again, we climbed that ladder of IHS, until finally we were successful. We had that celebration out there on that Ho Chunk property when it was down at the hospital, excuse me, on the south side of the hospital there. And it was a big tent, and it was a huge celebration, huge. I mean, we kept at it. The tribe did not quit. So I was a little bitty part of that, and I'm very, very proud of it. I was actually given a little bitty brick, because I was kind of part of the negotiations and stuff. But that's one of the biggest accomplishments this tribe has done.
You passed
Thank you, Mr. Bass. Don, would you like to address Nikki's, Ms.
Yeah,
Solomon's?
I remember that you're talking about. Dad was named the Rear Admiral. The boat was so small and he was really huge and they started sinking and the water started going in. Louis LaRose, yeah, still goes around about that. I remember when I was 18 years old, I was old enough to vote, and that's when the tribe was seeking sovereignty from the federal government. And my dad had myself and my older sisters and everybody we knew, all our relatives, go down and register to vote. I remember we had to vote, register as Republicans because there was a certain Congressman, Douglas B. Ryder, that was going to be lobbying for this for us. So that we could have our own financial, be away from the federal grant monies and be able to be self-sufficient. Now that was 33 years ago. A lot of people lived in poverty. And 33 years now from then, right now, there's still that same percentage living in poverty here. We need jobs. We need businesses that come to this community that will provide jobs for our tribal membership that don't have college degrees. You know, those that don't have the opportunity to go off the reservation and go work. And we need to, you know, help our people like that, give them the opportunity to be a productive member of this community instead of giving handouts, instead of giving TANF and EBT and all of that stuff. Build ourselves up, you know. And I just want to share this a little bit, thinking about what everybody else is talking about, the corruption they see. Several years ago, I'm raising 4 of my grandchildren, and several years ago, I was up there at TANF for an interview with the food stamp lady. And there was a grandmother in the next room, and she was talking to these people, and she was saying she needed food, she needed household necessities. When we walked out, I saw them hand her 2 of those cards. They gave out gift cards at the time. As soon as we got out the doors, she was trying to sell them to me because she was going to go to bingo that night. These are the kind of things that happen with our monies. And we need to have better tribal leadership so that all our people that run the heads of these programs, they follow the same path. Because yes, everybody, corruption is all over the place.
Ms. Riva Decora?
Well, I know that I remembered all of these things also, but one of the things I remembered was her father, Reuben Snake, when him and, was that James Boxford? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got the peyote legalized for the Native American churches. And I think that was a great, awesome step for Reuben, for, you know, our tribe. But it was sad because Reuben died before that passed. But that's what I remember of our history.
Thank you, Riva. And finally, Mr. Earth.
I want to say the casino, back in '90, them 2 little trailers. That's all I can remember. In '70, I wasn't even born yet. But I'm very thankful for them 2 little trailers that started out there, you know. I think I just graduated high school and I was getting the money out of the things in that little trailer, but and then to see it now, you know, and even who had that vision for that should have had a bigger vision. That should have been bigger, made bigger. But other than that and DG, I'm thankful for, you know. But yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
I want to thank you all for your answers because they are but there's so much more. And I'm trying to make a point here that we need someone here to keep writing the current history that is being made right here in Winnebago, Nebraska. One other very important thing that impacted the nation was Johnson O'Malley. That was opened up here in Winnebago for all of Indian country. The Winnebagos have always been leaders. So we need leaders now, not thieves, not embezzlers, not crooks, but somebody, when they come in, we can respect them for what they truly are in their heart. So I want to thank you all. You did, but this needs to be written down, the things that you brought up. It needs to be, that is our history. But thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the audience?
I got a question.
We'll start here with Tiffany first, then we'll go to Georgia.
Actually, I have two questions.
For a time limit, please, we need one at a time.
Okay, well, here's my first question. How will the tribal council pay the embezzlement back?
Is there anyone who would like to start?
For all four of you, how would you do that?
We'll go in reverse. Mr. Earth?
No, I'm not.
How would the tribal council pay back the embezzlement?
I would say start where that embezzlement began. Go seek them out and have them pay that back. To
I
the,
know that. I'm saying,
to the
how would you
council.
get those ones to do that?
Go up there. That's what we're gonna be in committee for, to go do that, to bring that out, to get that back. That's it.
Riva, would you like to respond?
Try, probably through investigation. Like he said, it's going to be hard because this one person or two people in there now, that's why this committee would help for all the people, like a general counsel, and to petition them, to pay it back, or to deduct from their salaries. That's, first step.
Ms. Snake?
Well, I guess I'm thinking there are already investigations going on. Is that not correct? And there are going to be indictments. Now, the money, is that going to, they're going to know, right, in this investigations, how many each one took, that in depth. We're going to have to, I don't know, I'm kind of at a loss with that one because like they all have pointed out, it's only going to be a couple people that are going to be the ones making these motions, and without the rest of the TC there to, because they're not going to do that to themselves. We're going to have to find somebody that's smarter and knows how to do those, get some kind of law firm that will know how to do that. That's all I know.
Mr. Bass?
Well, a lot of what we're saying is, right at this point, hearsay. Nobody has any solid evidence that any kind of embezzlement or anything like that really happened. It's being compiled, but at this point, I'm scared to use words like that because somebody could land up, they could sue somebody for calling them an embezzler or something like that. So I think we should really kind of choose our words carefully. But once it's discovered that this is occurring and we get the facts are known to everybody, I think we could force them to do payroll deduction. Yeah, we're paying them to pay back money that they may have taken. The other thing, the most important thing, I think, is we need people in the audience. At every tribal council meeting, I have seen over the years, the more people you have in a tribal council meeting, the more you can force that tribal council to do what the people want to do. That is the most important thing to me, that I think. People be there, and you can enforce, we can tell them, you're our representatives, you know, people get mad, you know, and understandably so. But the more people you have in a council meeting, the more they get intimidated, the more they're gonna listen. We've seen that happen already. The people have forced the tribe to stop the bleeding over there at the casino. Some of you have been in these council meetings where, you know, everybody in force say, no, you need to make a motion to end that policy. You need to, you know, pay money back or whatever, you know. So I think that the people will influence the tribal council's decisions. I've seen it, it's true. And the other, thirdly, lastly, some of this stuff might be out of our control. There are investigations going on, other than the little investigation committee I'm on. You know, there needs to be forensic audits happening, which are focused on certain things. An audit is, they just pick things here and there, but a forensic audit will focus exactly on what you want them to focus on. And they'll dig and dig and dig. So I think ultimately, if there are indictments and charges, you know, filed, that may answer our questions right there. You know, if that's happened, and if there are indictments, if there are arrests, charges filed, you know, I think we might have to be patient if that's the case. But you know, some of the stuff we have to be patient with. You know, we can't go in there and say, okay, you guys get out of here. I wish we could. I don't know, maybe we can. Who knows? More of us than them. There's only 8 of them. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not endorsing the violence thing. I'm just saying. Sometimes we get so mad that you feel like doing something like that, you know. But anyway, you know, I think the people need to speak. There are representatives that got a list. The more people you got in the audience, we can make them, force them to do these decisions. And if they're doing these things, they need to resign.
Right.
Thank you.
Wait, one more thing. But to add to that, you know, is this what we're talking about now, is this just for this council now? Or is it for the past council?
The floor is open for Georgia.
Let's wait for the guy with the microphone.
He's right there. He was waiting for you. He's right there.
I think it's Tuesday is Tribal Constitution Day, right? What day? Friday. Tribal Constitution Day. So the whole tribal organization gets to get off work. And from what I'm hearing in the community and some of the meetings that I've attended, it seems like leadership is the ones that are breaking all the rules to the tribal constitution. So what I would like to know, two things, Amy. A would be, how familiar are all 4 of you with the tribal constitution that we have now? And the second thing would be, what changes do you see need to be made to that tribal constitution? And why are we taking that, why is everybody taking that day off?
I believe that's 3 questions.
A, B, C.
A, B, and C.
That's for all 4 of you.
Take them one at a time, or what? What's the first question?
How many, which of you candidates or all candidates are familiar with the tribal constitution?
I'll start. Georgia, some years ago, probably a good 5 years ago, I got a copy of that tribal constitution because I was having specific problems with one of the tribal council members who was influencing the police and the tribal court. And it was not a good thing. And so I took on the tribal council, and I had a few supporters, some of my friends, some of my relatives, some of my lady relatives, because it had to do with abuse, physical abuse. And they all stuck together, even though I had like 7 witnesses, including 2 of the police officers. And I threw that tribal constitution on that table and I said, you guys are gonna sit here and tell me that you're going to call me and all my witnesses liars, and you're not gonna uphold this constitution. You're all gonna sit there and back each other up. And it was the same tribal council that's there now. And they just threw it out. They basically called us liars and threw it out. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that tribal constitution, the bylaws, all the policies. We need government reform. That's what we need. Every government has executive, judicial, and legislative. And as we know, everybody wants to be the chief. Everybody wants to get everything. Nobody wants to be a legislator, and a judicial, it's just a laughing stock down there, because anytime you ever walk into that court for any reason, you see the same repeat offenders in there getting their hands slapped. Some of them for very violent crimes. And I think, and government reform is not gonna happen tomorrow. It might not even happen in 5 years. It may take 10 years, but that's what we need.
Good.
Riva Decora.
Okay, about Constitution Day, well, it is a good Constitution if they used it right, if they did things right, the right way, you know. I'm sure any Constitution is, but as for changing it, did you say change it?
Yeah. What changes would you make to the tribal constitution since it's been violated clearly by leadership? By some of our leadership?
Okay, well, again, there, you know, it would take a while. I really don't know what I would change. I mean, what they could change. I mean, for the good or for the bad, I'd have to look at it all over again. I, you know, read it through and through years ago, but I haven't. If it's the same, you know, it's, why aren't they going by it? You know, just have to look at it again. That's all I can say, and I guess it's better than celebrating President's Day. That's a big thing. That's all.
Mr. Bass.
I know our Constitution and bylaws, front to back, very well. I have to know it. I was a council member, and I'm a candidate for a tribal council. And all the things that's happening down there, where do I turn? Right there. It says it right here, black and white. And you guys are violating it. Our tribal council does not. Ask that question of our tribal council. They don't know it. Apparently they don't know it. They violated that Constitution over and over and over again. They violated their code of ethics over and over and over again. It's so apparent. If you know the Constitution, if you know the code of ethics, you can see it happening in their tribal council chambers every day. Every day. It's sickening. I wouldn't change anything. If you change it, no matter how you change it, they'll violate that too. Like was said, government reform is one of the things that we need right now. You know, I wouldn't change that Constitution. I don't see anything in there, at least right now, that we need to change. I was thinking about maybe change it from 9 council members to 7, or maybe to 5. But I think we can resolve. You don't want to change your Constitution. You want it to be kind of generalized. You don't want to get really into detail. That's where your tribal laws, your tribal code, policies, code of ethics and stuff like that. You can fix those things by doing those kind of things. You don't really want to mess with your Constitution too much unless it's really necessary. We can take that salary away from all the tribal council members. That ought to resolve a lot of things. Crooked people won't go in there because there's no money to be had. You know, we'll get the honest people back in there again to run our tribal government. So that's how I feel about it.
Mr. Earth.
What I feel about the Constitution that we have is good and it shouldn't be touched. And then if you're on the council for a while, maybe there is some stuff that you can change if it needs to be changed. Because that's what we're in there for. One of the things that I feel like they shouldn't have changed is having those cops come on a reservation, you know, but apparently, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening, but I'd like to keep this our tribe, you know, our land, and I don't like seeing them sitting down on a corner and then they ain't stopping those semis that are speeding through town, dropping all the stuff, you know, just watch them go by, you know, but that's all I have. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to address the candidates? CC Earth, do you need a microphone? Okay.
Tomorrow, there's a tribal council meeting at 9 o'clock, the treasurer's report, as was told to you earlier. My question is, are you going to attend each of these? Yes, I will be there.
I have a job, I have to go to class at a public school.
I'll be there.
Mr. Bass.
I'm on the committee, I'll be there.
Anyone else would like to address the candidates? Again with Nikki.
I just have one comment here, and I would change the Constitution and bylaws. And one of the changes that I would want made, that candidates, before they get their name even on the ballot, would sign a resignation undated. So if they violated the Constitution, the Code of Ethics, what have you, pull out that resignation, date it. If they were elected, they'd be off the council. I would make that change, and that would be one of them. And believe you me, that would be one of the best preventive measures that we could take. No contest, already signed, undated, in file, secure. But that's one of the changes that I would make.
Thank you, Mrs. Sullivan. As we're drawing a closure to the end of the evening, if anyone else would like to ask the candidates a question.
I got a question of how can we get a big voting drive, get all the people together, if we have to carry signs or whatever, you know, this fall, to get people with integrity into the council. How can we get the people together enough so that they'll all participate, maybe even outside across from the center to say, vote for this person. You know, that's what we need. We need more people involved. How can we do that?
How can we get more people to vote?
Or participate in the voting process. We need that information out.
As a candidate, how would you help the people to get the vote out, to get them to vote, correct?
Yes, sir.
Riva?
Oh, you know, one year I think it was the college, when Obama was running, and I remember they all got in the back of a pickup. They had a drum. They had those, what do you call them? Megaphones. And they went and rode through town and telling everybody to get out and vote. Wake up in here, get out and vote, you know, they were going all over town. And I think that really helped because, gee, Obama got all our votes. But yeah, they can do that or go from house to house.
Don, would you like to respond?
I think the problem is that there is always a low percentage of registered voters that actually go down there. We gotta just get out there, go house to house, talk to your people, your relatives, your kids that are old enough to vote, and get them registered. Make sure they're registered. Take your car out and throw a bunch of people in there. You know, I know there's a lot of elders that don't have rides, that can't make it down there. There's no excuse why we couldn't just, I mean, if you're really, really honest and earnest and this is what you want, I mean, I'm not saying that I want to be the one in there, all my heart and soul, but I think we need godly leadership. And I hope that, you know, all of our candidates, you know, in some way, somehow, however it is, they believe in God, because that's what we need, you know, and if you're really in for it for the long haul, then you're willing to do anything it does, to get the voters out there, get our membership down there, make sure that they're voting, make sure that, you know, I get after my kids all the time, get down there and vote, you know, and all my little relatives and all that stuff too, you know, and me and my friend Denise, a couple of years ago, we loaded everybody up and hauled them down there and forced them to vote. But yeah, I mean, you gotta get out there, you gotta be out in the public's eye, be in their face all the time. Keep your name on their lips or however.
Mr. Earth.
Have all you can eat if you come down and vote. Just teasing. I'll get sued for, you know, but yeah, just like what Don was saying, you know, I believe that, and, you know, I think that's, you know, go house to house, hit everybody's house, all your relatives and your friends, and, you know, and then hopefully from there your friends will support you and put signs on their cars or, you know, speak out for you with, you know, other people, and that's all I have.
Oh, I know one more way. The Little Priest Tribal College radio station.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, Mr. Bass.
Well, if you're speaking as an individual, there's a lot of ways you can do things to try to get people to vote for you, you know. But on a larger scale, I think that entities like Little Priest, like the Winnebago tribe, like Ho-Chunk Inc. should actually sponsor things like Get Out the Vote drive. You know, they do it all over the country. They do it on a national scale. National Indian Gaming Association, the National Congress of American Indians, they have a Get Out the Vote drive. And a lot of tribes do that. If there's a presidential candidate or a specific state senator or something like that that's friendly to Native people, they have the Get Out the Vote drive. And they do a lot. They do pamphlets, they do newspaper ads, radio ads, TV ads. We have our own little newspaper here, you know, we could just do things. You could, the tribe could have vans going around the community and honking and just saying, you know, we're coming by, we'll be by every 15 minutes. If you need a ride, look for us. There's just so many things, you know, if you want to have a bigger voter turnout, there's a lot of things that the community can do. The businesses, the entities within the community can do a lot of things, grassroots efforts, you know. Individually, I think people really like to go. I haven't really done a lot of that, go house to house, but I think people appreciate that when you do that. But there's just a lot of ways that can be accomplished, I think.
Besides buying the vote.
Mr. Brian Chamberlain, the floor is yours.
Two questions. The first one is simply yes or no, because the question was asked before, but your answers weren't clear. So simply yes or no. Have you read the tribe's constitution?
Yes.
Yes.
The second question that I have is, the Winnebago tribe is not a small entity. It deals with literally hundreds of millions of dollars every year from sources as wide and varied as any other government in the local region will deal with. Can you describe in specific your experience in dealing with these vast amounts of money, whether that is in an executive role, a managerial role, or through education? How can we, as the voters, know that the people that we are voting for can deal with this amount of money?
Don, would you like to start?
Sure. My my career has been as a cook, and that has mostly been in the food service. I've never really had to deal with large amounts of money. For some years, I was one of the junior class sponsors, and we had to raise money every year for prom for our junior class. Myself, there was about 4 employees of the Winnebago Public School, and we just watched each other all the time. We made sure when we counted down that we were all there, and each different person counted it down. I've never had to deal with large amounts of money. I worked here at the Wolves Den for a little over a year, and we never had more than probably $200 that came in a day. Sometimes it was only $30, but every close of every day, because there was some things going on that money ended up missing. So I just finally said, well, we need to turn this into somebody every night. It can't be left here on the premises. I've never really had to manage large amounts of money, so I don't know. I would probably have to say that I'll have to learn something like that if I have got elected. I have to learn how to do that. I know that there are people with business degrees that are a lot better candidates than I am. But I think that we need a vast array of people from all different walks of life to sit on that tribal council, because, you know, we don't need, I've never had anything, so I don't know how I would behave. I'm used to just making my living and life on a very small budget, so that's how that's my answer.
Mr. Bass.
Prior to 1990, I know $1 million wasn't even in my vocabulary, but the day I got on the council was the day they went a bingo down, because some senator had his gray area machines that weren't legal, they weren't illegal, but with the new council, he pulled them out overnight. Winnebago itself was losing money, but the gray area machines were helping it keep above ground, above board, and employing people. We immediately start working on Class 3 gaming, and once you start talking about gaming, you're talking millions of dollars immediately. Within 18 months, that casino was open. We had that casino open and running, 18 months. Unprecedented, you don't hear about that anywhere in Indian country. And from that point on, my 9 years on the council, I was involved with managing those kind of revenues, including the casino out there and now HCI. And I was even casino general manager interim for about 13 weeks, which was quite an experience. But it gave me a good idea of what they have to deal with on a daily basis, all the money involved over there. I was a sales manager for Ho Chunk Incorporated Distribution Tobacco and for over 9 years. And our little sales department alone in tobacco generated about $50 million in sales every year. That isn't profit, that's sales. That's how many cigarettes we sold. And that was $59. Just that HCI's one company, tobacco distribution. So, I have some experience doing that, and I don't feel intimidated at all. I feel totally confident in dealing with those kind of revenues and, capital expenditures and all of that, so. I'm no accountant or anything like that by any means, but, we used to deal with it on a daily basis, so I think I have the experience to be able to do that.
Next, we hear from Mr. Err.
I worked in a surveillance room where we had to watch the count team, but I don't think it was for that, it was large amounts of money. Was pretty simple, not that I have a problem with math or anything, counting a bunch of money. Sounds fun to me. And I was a supervisor at a fast food restaurant that, we had to count people's drawers and stuff like that, but I never dealt with a large amount of money, not that I'm scared of it, and I'd feel comfortable doing that, so, yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
And finally, Riva Decora.
Well, I'm like Don, I haven't had much experience in accounting, but I have dealt with, thousands of dollars of, my own in the bank, and I just do it all in my head, and you see it on paper, and you can just kind of, estimate what's this and that, and I'm sure, that's how it is, and, it's a lot of money from a little to a lot. That's fun.
Thank you.
One final follow-up question on that. Please raise your hand if you understand the definition of the word EBITDA.
EBITDA.
Just raise your hand if you understand what it is. Got it?
Can we get a lifeline?
If you are elected, this word will become one of the most important words that you know. That's why I'm asking. Do you know what it is? EBITDA, for those of you that don't know, EBITDA is basically the amount of money left over after all the bills are paid, which is transferred from the banks.
I did say net revenues, but I wasn't positive, right?
And honestly, last thing, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you guys showing up.
Yeah.
We have one question in the back. Keely?
Sharon Redhorn told me what Louis LaRose said to her. Came up to her and he put his hand on her shoulder and he said, "Good job." He said, "What you girls are doing is hard." He said, "When we went and fought the Corps of Engineers," he said, "that was easy. That was easy." He said, "We were fighting white people. No problem. What you girls are doing is hard. You're going to fight your own people. Your uncles, your dadas, your brothers. That's hard." He said, "I'm real proud of you. If you get elected, you're going to have to stand up there. You're going to have to fight your relative. What they did was wrong. We all know there's investigations going on. You're going to have to stand up there. Maybe turn papers over. Maybe say something about your brother, your relative, your uncle, that man you had a lot of respect for. What are you going to do? Are you going to roll over and say, "Oh, it wasn't that bad. Look at so-and-so over there, what she did, or so-and-so over there"? Or are you going to stand up for our people and say, "That was wrong"? Tell me what you're going to do for my grandchildren.
That's what drove my decision to run, because I do have a lot of respect for our traditions, for our male relatives, and for that tribal council. But when I heard of everything that was going on, I was thinking about my children and my grandchildren and all of our people. My father loved and cherished his entire tribe. There was a lot of times he wasn't home when we needed him. But he did it for all of us. And we all benefited from the things that he had to go do. Made him physically sick. But he kept on no matter what, because he had a faith in God. Our people have been like this since the beginning of time. We all believed in God. And everything that we did, we went and we asked for his guidance and his wisdom. And nobody's doing that anymore, even though those are our Degas and those are our relatives. And that's what's the matter with us now. That's why we're in the state we're in. That's why I'm running, Keely, because I want that for our people. I want that for you and my children and everyone. I want it the same and equal, because we're all equal in God's eyes.
Mr. Earth, would you like to respond?
Yeah, just like what Don just got done saying, that's why I'm standing up. Because I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that. I see it. You don't have to, everybody knows that. I see that. That's why I'm here. For all of our people, not just for individuals, for all of us. Be that voice, to stand up, to not back down, to not go into hide. I'm not that type of person. That's why I'm here. So I got people, I got friends, I got family. And I got a grandbaby too. Little Makate grandbaby that, I didn't get to meet him yet, but I will. So it ain't about, it ain't about, just us individuals. It's about everybody. And it's going to take more than just us. You're going to see what we do. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Riva Decora?
Yeah, it's like from the littlest person to the biggest person, the oldest. We all have to help each other. That's what our people taught us, to love one another, to help one another. Somebody's down, you go over there and help them. They said the poorest man was always the chief of the tribe, because he was always giving. You don't see that now. I asked myself over and over. I even asked Mauna, why is this happening to us? Why are these people doing that? We know each and every one of them. We grew up with them. What happened, And I would like to be in there as a woman. There used to be women leaders in our tribe, and they were the backbone of the tribe all the time. You see it on our Trail of Tears, and all the stories that go way back. We have a lot of stories. That's another thing I'd like to see in the culture club, is to have a storyteller. And that's what Tom Snowball was good at. He was a good storyteller. Well, we have to have some humor. But anyway, but that's sort of, I want to be in there and be strong for my people. Like I said, I know my heart is strong because I've been through. Okay.
And finally, Mr. Bass.
Well, your concerns are my concerns. I have children, grandchildren, even a great-grandchild. That's the reason I'm running. I see what's going on. Whatever was said here regarding that, I feel the same way as these candidates here. We got to do what we got to do, and I'm going to say it like it is if I get elected. I'm not afraid of those guys, they don't intimidate me. I know we're right, I know they're wrong. I would rather try to work with them than fight with them though, but is that possible? Can we do that? I'll try to work towards that if I can, you know. Maybe we can somehow change their minds, change their way of thinking. Maybe. I'm hoping, I'm praying that we can do that, you know. But I think Dawn said it all when she said it, you know. We need to, you know, she's coming from the heart, you know, and we need to have prayer and, you know, look to Mauna for direction and guidance, you know, and strength, so. And I think we can do that. I know we can do that, so. I want to thank all these candidates here. I want to thank them for being here, all of us, you know, just, that kind of shows me, you know, who really wants this, you know? There's a ball game going on over here and something else over there, you know. Priorities.
We've come to the end of our evening. I'd like to thank all the candidates for coming in tonight and speaking to those that attended. This is a historical event for the tribe, and this is something that is going to be talked about for generations. And I'm thankful that all of you took the time to come over and address your membership, because the membership is what makes the tribe. I want to thank the Native Studies program, Little Priest Tribal College, all the fellow students, alumni. We have one more question over here by Mrs. Eagle.
It's just a comment. It's a little past hearsay when the council have stood up in the council chambers at their seats and admitted that they took it. They took the money. It's not hearsay when they've confessed to it. And that's what they have done. Each and every one of them have said, yeah, I took it. I had a card. You know, that pushes that up to the bar.
Would any of the candidates like to respond to that?
I would just say that I totally agree with you, Jeannie. And I was earlier cautioning us about words like embezzling and stuff like that. Yeah, they did. They did admit that. They admitted a lot more too, you know. So we can say some of these things with certainty, you know. But I was just trying to, it's being recorded and everything, you know, I was just trying to protect all of us from saying maybe the wrong word or slander or something like that, you know.
Well,
These guys
they
are
never
getting
said
desperate.
their name.
They're getting desperate, so they're gonna try just about anything.
Yeah.
So you need to be a little bit
I think it'd be
cautious.
closer to slander if we said their name along with the word.
Well, I like that comment that Nyla made, you know. I think we should change that constitution where if someone does do that, then their resignation's already there. So then maybe it's time for them to, you know, well, they have to, they should step off. If they got any honor or, you know, they should step down. They should have stepped down. And then, you know, if they reloaded that card, then they should have been gone a long time ago. And that's where we as the people, the tribal members should have been there to say, hey, you guys, you know, show some honor and just step out of there. Give it to somebody else.
They actually had a letter prepared, signed with each of their names on it and put it in front of their desk. They wouldn't sign it. We also, Darla made a motion to honor these written resignations of 2 of the council members. And after 2 weeks, they tried to retract them. But Darla made that motion. They wouldn't even second her motion. The motion died for lack of a second. What did that tell you?
Yeah.
Any closing remarks from the candidates as we finish out our evening?
Well, first, I just want to say thank you to Little Priest, and thank you to Cassie and the Native, what is it, Native Beads?
Dispelling the myth class.
Yeah, for this, and I thank you for bringing us through this evening. And I want to thank everybody for showing up, and I hope you're there to vote for one of us. I feel one of us is a good candidate, and thank you for your time.
Reba? Don?
Yes, thank you to all the sponsors and all of the tribal members who came over here tonight. And thank you for those who posed your questions and your comments. Thank you to you, the rest of the candidates.
That same thing, that's really all I have to say, and really appreciate your concern, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Tomorrow's the day. So I want to thank you all, thank Little Priest Tribal College for this time and their facilities, and I just want to say God bless each and every one of us also.
And with that, we will conclude this evening's activities. We want to thank everyone for coming out. Wishing everyone a safe drive home, and be careful out there. And tomorrow is the Tribal Council meeting. I was asked to address that. It starts at 9 o'clock, I believe.
Let me see something. And Cece, I'm going to punch out and go.
Let me say that.